The last message from the Titanic. For over a century, the sinking of the Titanic has remained one of history's greatest maritime tragedies. A luxury ship, a fatal collision, and desperate cries for help that faded into the freezing Atlantic night. These details are well documented, but among the final transmissions sent from the doomed vessel, one message remained lost, dismissed as interference. That message would remain buried in forgotten archives for over 100 years. Dr. Emily Carter wasn't looking for a mystery. As a historian specializing in maritime disasters, she had spent years studying the Titanic's final hours. But when she uncovered an overlooked document in the British Maritime Museum, something felt different. It was a final, fragmented transmission. "Tell her, I never stopped waiting. The stars are bright. Meet me there." The words sent a chill through her. This wasn't a distress call. It wasn't a desperate plea for rescue. It was a farewell, one that had never been received. Emily became obsessed. She traced the message back to the Marconi wireless logs, cross-referencing every known passenger and crew member who had been near the radio that night. There were the well-known names, Captain Edward Smith, the wireless operators Jack Phillips and Harold Bride, and the wealthiest passengers who had made headlines. But then, she found him, James Montgomery. A lesser-known name, but his story stood out. A young telegraph officer assigned to Titanic as a last-minute replacement, his name had vanished from most records because he had volunteered his lifeboat seat to a woman and her child. He had remained on board, transmitting messages to the last second. Emily searched deeper, digging through archived letters and personal accounts. And then she found her. Eleanor Hastings, a woman who had booked passage on Titanic, but had never boarded. A letter, aged and brittle, was tucked inside an old collection at the New York Historical Society. It was addressed to James Montgomery. "I'm sorry, James. I can't go through with it. My father forbids it, and I cannot bear to disgrace my family. Please understand." Emily's heart ached as she pieced the story together. They had been lovers, star-crossed, separated by circumstances beyond their control. Eleanor had stayed behind, and James had set sail. He had spent his final